It's not like the show is entirely about people redeeming themselves and then it's all over.
But we have two characters in our show that are like that, and we killed them both within 5 minutes of each other. It's the Watchers on the Couch. Welcome back to Watchers on the Couch. Today we are discussing episode 8. No, that is wrong.
That is very wrong.
Episode 3 of season 8.
There you go.
The Long Night. I'm Tim Pickerel.
I'm Sarah Pickerel.
And I'm Mike Daffron.
And okay, this is where we all fight to the death over our feelings about this episode. Because some of us liked it, some of us did not. Social media is all abuzz, saying it's the worst thing ever. All kinds of stuff. So before anything else, we should probably say welcome to all of our new listeners. Because if you're listening to this, statistically, you are more likely to be a new listener to this season. Because we've gotten a lot of downloads since our past episode. Like almost a crazy amount. So thank you for listening. And,
This podcast's for you.
Yeah, this podcast is for you. We're dedicating it to you. Hopefully you're interested in seeing one of the major characters of this podcast die in this episode. It might happen. Who knows?
No.
Okay, so on social media, very divisive episode. Even in my trending news articles on my phone, very divisive episode. Just so, quick round around the table. Mike, what'd you think?
I was definitely not a fan. I wasn't really happy with this episode.
Okay.
I want to say it's like the worst episode ever or something, but I think there was a lot of misses that I really didn't like.
Was it a lot of minor things that just piled up, or was it like some big things that said, man, fuck this show?
Yes and no. I don't know. Probably a lot of minor things that built up, I guess.
Okay.
And some of them could be nitpicks, and so I don't know. We'll get into it.
Okay. Sarah?
I liked it. I wouldn't watch it again.
Same.
All right. So
yeah, there wasn't a lot of need to watch again. Usually, like this season, Sarah and I have watched the past 2 episodes a second time, so we could make notes about this. But story-wise, nothing was going on. So you only really need to see a big fight episode once.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And we can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Visually speaking, that was part of my gripes, and it wasn't like that it was dark. A lot of people are like, it's so dark. Yeah, but I think a lot of it was the editing and the directing. So some of the battles, on the ground, were close up, quick cuts, and I can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
You can't even see what's going on. Don't put it on screen.
The majority of it was like that. I had problems with that too, and that's why I wouldn't watch it again. I'm glad that we watched it just to find out and further along the story, but honestly, just because of the battle scenes alone, and like you were saying, the quick cuts, not really being able to understand what's going on. You can kind of see you can see there's a battle happening, but you can't understand what's actually happening in those moments because it's so close. I couldn't tell what was going on, especially when they cut that close. When you're framing it in that way, if you'd framed out a little bit or zoomed out a little bit, maybe there would have been more context. But yeah, it was just really difficult.
Yeah, it's something I hate in certain movies, especially action movies, even some Marvel movies and stuff like that. You can't even tell what's really going on. Just really, really quick cuts, quick shots, And I'm like, why even put it on screen? I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
The dragon battle,
Yeah,
I had no clue what was happening at all.
Yeah, whose dragon is attacking who? Like, I couldn't tell until like one of them was breathing fire, you know? And even then it was really difficult to, you know, it's like when you're having sex with somebody, you can't tell your body apart from theirs, you know, you just meld into one.
Maybe that's what the dragons were doing.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
She's having sex with somebody else. I'm pretty sure I know where I am at all times.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so yeah, it was odd.
I enjoyed the episode a lot. Same thing though. I wouldn't watch it again. I would watch highlights of the episode again for sure.
Yeah. I watched it again painfully, but
it's long.
Yeah,
it's too long.
It's so long.
And like that was the major thing that like you were kind of excited about. This is going to be the longest and biggest battle in the history of Game of Thrones. Sure. And then about 45 minutes into it, I'm like,
I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm about done with the fighting part. Let's get to the more emotionally impacting stuff.
And the last 10 minutes was like slow-mo, so...
Yeah.
That fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
I'm fine with...
Bothered me a lot.
Really?
I'm fine with slow-mo, but there was way too much of it, and the slow-mo was too slow.
It was too slow, and that fucking background music with that goddamn piano, it went on for like 9 minutes.
How did I not even notice that?
I don't know. Maybe you don't have misophonia or something. Maybe that's part of it. Like, it fucking drove me nuts. I'm like, stop playing the stupid piano music!
Is that the same thing that makes you annoyed about hearing mouth sounds?
Yes.
Yeah, what's that called?
Misophonia?
Mesothelioma?
Yeah. You might be entitled to compensation.
Right.
So, misophomio. I'm going to have to look that up. I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah.
We don't have time for it.
There's a genetic marker for it, too. So
Okay.
Oh, it's on your 23andMe?
Yep.
Is it?
I know.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Couldn't believe
Wow.
it. Yep.
Do all noises bother you?
No, I don't know.
Does this line of questioning bother you?
No. But like mouth noises, yeah. And there's some podcasts that are pretty bad about it. Talking to you, fucking Joe Rogan. Hey, let's do a podcast, but do the two things that make your mouth dry out the most. Smoke weed and drink coffee.
Awesome.
So it's like... those noises.
Oh, God.
So what's more annoying, this episode or Joe Rogan mouth noises?
Maybe Joe Rogan mouth noises, possibly. Okay. Yeah, it like makes me rage. Like it makes me want to hurt people.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's weird.
I like
that. This episode did open up great. Like it built tension really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the silence. Who would have thought? I like the silence.
The sounds of silence.
I thought it built up really well, and then Melisandre shows up. Just like, oh, hey, what's up, dudes? And they shot that weird, too. It was confusing. Like, did she just come from where the Night King is?
Yes.
Is she on the Night King side?
Right.
They shot it was... Yeah, that wasn't shot well.
It was
right
weird.
there.
That was very weird. But yes, I totally agree. I was confused, too. I thought, where is she coming from?
Mm-hmm.
There are parts of this that I think are shot really well, but yeah, there's a lot of the outside stuff is not one of them. And that's it. You get lost easily. And maybe that's intentional just because of the fog of war that they're bringing in with them. And it's also a good way to cut down on your effects budget, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy to do an episode like this. So whatever criticism bitches I have, like, it's not going to be easy. I'm still really disappointed.
What did you say, 55 nights it took to shoot this episode?
Yeah, it took 55 days and nights. They had to wait for winter, basically. Yeah. That's why it took so long. They had to keep waiting they had to wait for the winter to come. But yeah. And
then Melisandre, so a lot of people I know, like on Reddit and stuff, had problem with like the Dothraki, like just charging in, like what the fuck are you guys doing? What kind of battle tactic is that?
Yeah.
Here's what I had a problem with. So they were going to go in there with normal fucking swords.
Yeah.
Normal swords.
Yeah.
That was their plan.
Right.
Curved swords.
Well, what are they called?
But Melisandre...
There's another word for it.
They did this backwards. Like I think they thought this idea backwards or something.
Okay.
Like, why would they even have their normal swords? They would have dragonglass swords. Like, they would just... Their normal swords aren't going to kill anybody.
Yeah. I don't
Gotta
know.
use dragon glass.
Does the fire help in some
Yes,
way?
you can kill them with fire. So, like, ooh, how convenient. Like, Melisandre shows up,
Yeah.
scares the shit out of all the Dothraki.
It is.
Oh, it starts off. What the fuck?
I did like the scene where she does that.
It does look great.
And then, so it's like, oh man, this is going to be badass. And then they charge in. Nobody signaled them to charge in. They just said, our swords are on fire. Let's go before they go out. And so they,
And the charge looked great. And, like, you know, a lot of the scenes. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's all right. Why doesn't Jorah's sword light up? Why can't she set that one on fire too?
I don't know.
It'd be
It
cool.
doesn't really need to be, I guess.
It doesn't. That's true. But I guess Jorah. Well, no, Jorah didn't lead the charge. He just like they all went and then he went.
Right.
Yep.
And Ghost went. Why is Ghost on the front line?
Yep.
Ghost is it's a dog, basically.
It's a wolf.
It's a dog wolf.
Right, but why wouldn't Jon have Ghost with Bran or with Sansa?
Because it looks cooler to have him charged with everyone else.
And because you don't have to think about him the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked better if, like, they did have, like, Ghost in the crypts. Like,
Yeah.
hey, go down there and Ghost will be protecting you guys.
Yeah.
So, because Ghost didn't do anything. You don't see him do anything.
Charges
true.
off
Disappears.
Well, they ran out of CG budget.
Why? Put him in. That's so dumb. Last episode is just a picture of him. And this episode, like, it kind of pumped me up. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm going to see Ghost, like, tear apart some
Yeah.
whites.
Nope.
And you
Sorry.
would just assume that he dies off screen.
Of course, yeah.
I'm assuming
Because you
he's
never see
alive.
him again.
Well, we'll
Well,
get into that because I assumed Rhaegal was alive or dead as
And-
well, and we end up seeing him in
Yes.
The previews,
for the next episode, where if you blink, you miss seeing Ghost as well.
Yeah, it's literally like
It's like the-
half a second of a
It's the
clip.
back half of Ghost standing behind Sam.
They're going to
As-
fucking just keep putting him in there just a tiny
Yeah.
bit.
He's like he's the Where's Waldo of Game of Thrones. They're just going to troll us for the rest of the season.
love it.
We think we're seeing Ghost.
See, and those things didn't really, like, bring me out of the episode too much either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was, like, kind of disappointed in Melisandre showing up. I kind of expected it. It was kind of odd. And then with the flaming swords, I'm like, that's convenient. But, like, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let that ruin the whole episode for me or something.
not.
Like, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Let's do this, man. I'm still ready. I'm pumped. Let's go.
You were disappointed in her showing up?
I just thought it was, one of those things, like, out of nowhere. Like, hey, I got here right on time before the battle.
Well, that's kind of her thing, right?
I guess. I know it could easily be explained. Like it just felt a little weird. Like, yeah, she
This
kind
is-
of.
This is where she needs to be now, and she couldn't show up earlier because Davos would have killed her.
Right.
Which Davos still wanting to kill her, like they're outside and he sees her and he's still coming to kill her. It's like, dude, get your fucking priorities straight.
You don't got no fingers.
Like,
Come
I,
on.
like I love you, dude, but you gotta like time and place.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a war seems like the right place to kill somebody, though.
Well, yeah, sure.
That'd been awesome if, like, while she was turning around, he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Stab, stab, stab.
Maybe not the person that can light shit on fire.
Yeah.
Eventually, she's got to pray a lot to do that. And what the fuck's this red guy doing?
Oh, yeah, that's one of my kind of bitches about.
He was
like,
playing
like,
Fortnite.
Like, fuck this Lord of Light. Like, he can do just a little bit here and there. The Lord of Light has these prophecies. The Lord of Light knows basically what's going to happen, knows who's Azor Ahai, going to kill the Night King. Like, hey, why don't you, like, just... Like, does thousands and thousands of people have to die to come to this point that you know is going to happen, or, like, even have some power over?
Well, the Azor...
Fuck God.
Fuck the red god for sure. But the Azor Ahai thing, they've never mentioned that in the show.
I thought they did.
No, she'll talk about the prince who was promised, but that's not the same thing.
No.
I mean, there's people who think it's the same thing, but it's also like Azor Ahai was a guy. The prince who was promised is like another coming of a hero.
Or the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who,
But Arya's not a princess.
well, Jon's not a prince either.
Yeah. So fuck this Lord of Light. He didn't know shit about fuck.
Well, I don't know if he... I don't know if
How
he
literal
says-
is this supposed
Yeah,
to be,
that's the
though?
thing.
You know?
Like, I do like how Arya's like, yeah, you got that right too, and that right. But, hey, wait, you're the guy that put leeches on my boyfriend's dick. And you burned that little girl. You know?
I don't think she knows about that.
And you made, like, the smoke monster thing. Like,
Does she know about
you got
that?
a whole lot more wrong than you got right. I don't think I'm going to trust you.
Well, that's the thing, and everybody on Reddit is trusting her.
Yeah.
With her prophecies and things like that. There's no reason we should believe any of this, except for the fact that Beric has a flaming sword and Jon got brought back to life.
You know, okay, although she did set all those swords on fire, so seeing that, I might be like, all right, maybe she knows some shit. It's all right. If you saw some magic lady light, thousands of swords on fire.
I get it, but does that make you a convert then? Do you believe in everything in the Lord of Light? Do you believe in the Prince that's promised just because you see some swords?
Until a better god shows me better power.
Okay, all right.
Another god comes in and blows them all out like, not today, Lord of Light.
The god's not... we haven't heard the god come down and say anything about a prince who was promised. That's somebody else's interpretation of something. Shit. Where were we?
I don't know. How do you want to go about this?
There's so much to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I said something about the quick cuts, because that's where it started, kind of started at the beginning a little bit. One thing that did take me out, where I was like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. When that first wave of whites hit, like, that looked badass, and I'm like, that's crazy. It's like a tsunami of whites. Like, they're piled on top of each other. It's almost like flowing like water, like, this giant wave.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And then you got Brienne being like, hold the line. I'm like, you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
Like, there's no possible way you'd be able to survive, that big... They're on the front line. That giant pile. And then finding out later, they did survive it, and I'm like, I see what's going on here. Nobody's going to die.
What? You thought nobody was going to die?
After seeing, like, how impossible that would be to survive, and then seeing them, like, easily surviving, I'm kind of like,
okay.
Great.
Okay.
That didn't really take me out of it.
It didn't take me out of it either, because you saw, like, them really fighting. Like, even in those quick cuts, like, you could see,
it was
like,
pretty, like,
how
Brienne
intense
was pretty
it
close to getting killed, too.
How intense it was. It was bad, It didn't seem easy to me at all, but they were surviving.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of cuts. There was a lot of cuts too that, like, oh no, I'm surrounded, I'm about to die, and then they cut away, and then later on they're like, hey, I'm fine again.
Well, actually,
fighting, like, I mean, usually Sam had happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Happened to Jon, was surrounded.
Well,
and then all of a sudden, wasn't like.
There's two things with this. One, in that first scene that you're talking about, where where you think nobody's going to die, that's when Ed dies.
He is nobody.
No, he's not.
He's not.
No one cares about Ed. No one cares about Jorah.
I care about Ed more than I care about Sam, and Sam got Ed killed.
Yeah, fuck Sam. That's part of my notes. Like,
yeah, it's actually part of mine too. He shouldn't have been out there. He should know better. He's doing it for, like, his own, like, I don't know, prove a point to people or something, for his own self-interest. Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Sam.
So fucking dumb.
You're putting other people in danger. He's knowingly putting other people in danger by being on the front lines of the battlefield.
He got the only cool remaining person on the Night's Watch killed.
He should have threw some books at him or something. They do have a library there.
And I care about Jorah.
Sure you do.
Sir Friendzone?
Yeah.
I like him just fine.
I really like Jorah as a character, but I didn't care that he died.
Yeah, the deaths in this weren't nearly as impactful. And I saw that as a gripe that a lot of people has. Like, we watched this, there wasn't any major character deaths. We watched this show because
we wanted to cry.
Yeah, our favorite characters can die. It's like, that's not really why I watched this show.
Yeah.
Something I was thinking about from, like, last episode, we were talking about, these people have fulfilled their character arcs, now they can die.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, but that's kind of, I think, why I'm not going to really care that much about certain people that do die. Because the reason you care is because they had more left to do, and you're like, whoa, wait, no. Mm-hmm. Like the Red Wedding, you're like, whoa, that came
out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of not really satisfying.
No, that's a really good point. It's not as impactful.
Yeah.
It is satisfying, but it's not as emotionally charged because you don't. You see them actually fulfill whatever they're supposed to do. You know, you see them at a point in their life where it's just like everything's fine, or everything's not fine, but it doesn't matter because like they've made somebody proud, or they've been told they're a good man, or they've you know, whatever.
You're a good man.
Yeah, don't worry about those 2 innocent farm boys you burned alive.
Yeah.
You're a great,
you.
great guy. What was that?
Thank you.
Nice.
You're a good man. Now go die. You know where you know where I've been this whole time. I walked into a bird. No, not the ravens. One on a beach. I was chilling. Thanks for letting me know the Night King's coming.
I'm still pissed you didn't warg into a dragon.
Yeah.
I didn't warg into anything. I get... So basically what I'm assuming what he was doing was leading the Night King in with the ravens.
That makes sense.
I don't
Because
know.
honestly, I had no idea. Like, what was it that you heard on Twitter?
He was watching Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, that makes more sense then.
Should have warged into the Night King.
I don't think you can.
No, probably not.
You can do basically anything, I think, because we don't know anything about the Night King, really.
We know enough. Mostly, we know he's created by the Children of the Forest, and we know he doesn't want a world of people.
We also know he does have at least some personality, because he gave that little smile after not being burned alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or not being burned dead.
Yeah.
Right.
He's kind of a...
Dead, double dead.
Yeah.
He's a cocky ice guy.
That smile is so strange. I was just like, what is...
They'll come up on the screen eventually.
I'm Betty. You're trying to make me toasty. You can't toast me.
A lot of one of the things I also love about Twitter being all pissed off is about how this isn't the way it's going to happen in the books. Jon's going to fight the Night King and blah 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 blah. It's like, motherfuckers, the Night King isn't in the books.
Yeah, right.
There's no Night King in the books.
Yeah.
It's just whites?
We don't know. Like, there's been way more focus on the dead in this show than there really is in the books.
Oh, okay.
One of the things is people seem to think that in the books that the dead is the big threat, whereas the show is focusing on the throne as the big threat. So I don't know. Either way, there's no reason to suspect that, number one, that the books are going to be any different at this point, aside from certain characters being alive or dead, because as they said, like one of my former coworkers had mentioned that Arya killing the Night King was basically the showrunner's idea, and they said as much in the behind the scenes, and that is not what they said. What they said is they've known for 3 years that Arya was going to be the one to kill the Night King,
Okay.
which is something completely different, because that's when they deviated from the books. That's about when they introduced the Night King, and it's also right when they were getting past the books is when they had to get the basic what George R. R. Martin's rundown of the plot was at that point as well. So if there was going to be a Night King, there's no reason to suspect that would have played out any different.
There should have been some twist to kill the Night King. Like,
That was the
Dragon's
twist.
Glass kills him, but also makes him. He could be like, I'm
You think
already
he's
made
gonna-
a Dragon Glass, man.
You think he's gonna-
Didn't work.
We're going to see the last scene, the very last
I'm
scene.
a fucking idiot. Never mind. She stabbed him with the Valerian steel.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But the very last scene we're going
was trying to make
to
up
see
something
is all the glass is going to just start forming him again, like T-1000. That's the last scene of the show.
Holy shit.
Does the Night King come back? Is that it? See, that's something weird that Bran said in the previous episode, is the Night King has tried to kill the Raven multiple times. So, like, they didn't kill the Night King, but, like, what, forced him back beyond the wall? Or, I don't know. I thought this was strange.
That's the thing. We don't know enough about that.
Maybe like he's everlasting. Like there's a reset, like in a video game or something.
Yeah.
You know,
He's got 3 lives.
He has to keep raising
He has to
his
start
armies
back from the
again.
beginning. Yeah.
Wow.
He has to start at true north, North Pole.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's entirely possible we'll
Work
find
his
out.
way back.
Like in the beginning of the next episode when they're having their rundown. It's like, yeah, we've got 10,000 years before all this happens again. Or something like that.
How would they even know? Though?
Bran would...
You think Bran would know?
I think Bran... If the Night King is a cycle thing and it wasn't a one-and-done situation, like he's been around this, kicking this entire time, then Bran would probably know that.
Okay.
Even-
I think he's definitely done. I think that's it forever. Myself.
I agree. I think that was the... And
Yeah.
that's the other thing. It's like, oh, they killed him in one episode. It's like, how fuck many episodes? Like, this was the episode for that. The dead are coming. The dead are here. We have to deal with the dead or die. It's like, you're not going to fucking split that up.
You're right. I don't know. I mean, it could have, but yeah.
It would have been...
Whatever.
Would have been pretty lame if they did.
I also don't think the writers even want anything to do with the Night King. I don't know if they actually like that part of the story.
That's entirely possible.
I've said it before, like, I don't know if it was last season or the season before, like, I don't really like listening to them after the show. Doesn't feel like they want to do the show at all.
I think it's just them. I think they all have the Chris Nay's voice.
Well, I'm not even trying to take anything away from them. Like, I could see somebody being exhausted from doing the show after 10 years, you know, and be like, I gotta do this fucking Ice and Dragon show still. Even if it is the most popular show on television. I don't know.
Oh.
And it's probably a lot of work, you know, probably takes an insane amount of time out of your, you know, life.
Yeah. I mean, think about it,
Like,
though.
oh,
I
my
mean, you're
free
creating
time.
a piece of art, essentially. You're creating something from scratch to completion. It takes years for that to actually happen because you have to concept it, you have to write it, you have to storyboard it, and then you have to like do the set and do everything. So you are like this thing from inception to completion, right?
Right.
After all of that time and then it's done and then you have to talk about it, how excited are you going to be to talk about this thing that you have basically lived and breathed and like to nauseum?
It depends on who it probably depends on who you're talking to. Like if you're out like seeing like a bunch of fans and stuff like that, but when it's just the HBO press person asking you questions, like, and then you have to fill time at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this person.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like he's not supposed to like be showing at the very end of the episode, he's not supposed to be showing all of his excitement or emotion or anything about it. It's just like, this is how we got to this place.
Yeah. And every episode ends somberly for the most part. So you don't like,
I think they should be cocky about it. You see what I fucking did? That's all me, baby.
Right.
no, that's what Sophie Turner does.
Yeah.
Does she do that?
She does.
She has, was it Instagram? She does that
Instagram
a
where
lot?
she's talking about like how my bitch did that shit.
Getting that pussy.
Yeah, that one too. That was hilarious. And then on the there was another Game of Thrones on Jimmy Kimmel, and like what's the difference? She's on it, and it's like, what's the difference between the books and the show? It's like, well, the books have a bunch of words on it, and the motherfucking show gets me paid.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah, at this point we've lost Ed. We should have lost Sam a million times. We think we've lost Brienne because it cuts away like while she's on the ground screaming.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
See, I think that stuff's kind of cheap, like those cuts like that.
I think it's a cheap way to build suspense, but at the same time, like I just don't
expect that from this show, especially like how much effort and time and money they put into this. This is the final fucking season, and it seems like you're doing like a cheap trick to me. I don't like it. Like, you can show the stuff. Like, I don't know. You don't have to put characters.
There were so many characters, though. I mean, like, everybody's there, you know, and you want to see everybody. You want to see how everybody's doing. Yeah. So to focus on one character, I mean, I know they did for a couple of like key characters, but
when you cut away, don't put them in a place of like, oh, they're definitely dying, or like that chick that's cheap. I don't like it.
Yeah,
you don't have to cut away at that moment,
right?
You know, they could be in that place of danger, get out of it, and then go to the next part.
Yeah. But you feel the anxiety, right? You feel the anxiety building when you're watching it?
Only anxiety from frustration.
Okay. So, okay.
No, but I know, yeah. And they did have to show a lot. I mean, and you wanted to see everybody, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I get why they did it. I know it feels cheap. Like when you're watching, you're like, damn it. Like, why couldn't I just see what happened to blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes sense that they would just show like everybody in peril. Like, this is a dire situation. They think everybody's going to die. Like, we're all dead.
Yeah.
And they want you to feel that too. Or that intensity of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I understand both points of it.
Mm-hmm. So I think the next character death that happens is Lyanna.
Yeah, first Ed, then Lyanna. Which Lyanna's death was, I don't know. I thought it was pretty awesome. I thought it was really cool, like what happened.
I liked it. Yeah.
There was a lot of people that like that scene was totally unnecessary, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, that was one of the best scenes in the episode. Like, it's basically like Lyanna's like a Capri Sun. Mm-hmm. And you're crushing the Capri Sun, but somehow the Capri Sun takes its sharp ass straw and jabs you in the eye with it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
and I called it. So she gets killed, and they do the blue eye scene to like make you go, oh. Mm-hmm. So I got that one. You got Arya kills the Night King, even though you were joking.
I guess I'll have to listen to it. I'm assuming I was joking.
I don't even remember if we said.
But like our predictions change. At least mine always change over time. Mm-hmm. At least any serious ones.
Maybe,
but
maybe people do. Maybe people at HBO actually listen to this show.
That's not possible.
Yep.
You know why?
Why?
Because the shows are already shot. They're done. They're finished. They aren't going to like change it just because of what we said. Like
we said it last season or something, probably.
Oh,
just like
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the big plot stuff, like the Night King thing. I'm pretty sure that was towards the end of the last season that we did.
I hope they don't listen to this episode. Just me shitting all over it. Like,
I like the episode.
You guys are still awesome.
It was a little dark, but that's fine.
My expectations, though, are lower than they could ever be right now, though, for the rest of the season, which is kind of a great thing.
It is, because nowhere else to go.
No disappointment. I really feel that it's not going to be that satisfying. I feel it's going to be...
So it can only go up from here.
Very mediocre.
It can only be like really awesome from where you are right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You're in a great spot, Mike.
I am. I like it. Thank you, crappy episode. And it's not really like a crappy episode. I don't know. But there's a lot of shit I didn't like. Anyway.
So the next thing on the list is probably the Hound getting ready to fuck off because everything's on fire. And
yeah, Hound being a baby again. Mm-hmm. Fucking pussy ass Hound. I can't wait for the mountain to just crush him.
Well, he got over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Because he had to save his friend.
Got over that mountain.
It just takes Beric to say, hey, that girl that left you for dead and robbed you's in trouble.
Yep.
It's like, fuck.
My baby.
I'm your new daddy.
The daughter I always wanted.
Meanwhile, she was a badass up until the point where she got her head smoked against the wall.
Yeah.
It was cool. And
I wish I saw a little bit more of that. I wish I saw her a little bit more in like open combat, or
Yeah, her weapon didn't last as long as she was hoping, because the whole thing wasn't made of dragon glass. You just the pointy end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it did look cool and it worked.
That was like for the 25 seconds that scene is where she's just like laying waste of stuff. It's like, man, you guys needed more people from Bravos.
Yeah,
no shit.
Where are all the water dancers?
They're in the Golden Company.
I guess.
They're so fucked.
Yeah. Was Syrio Farrell, they never mentioned him being in the Golden Company or anything, right?
No, just that he's a water dancer.
But also, didn't he say he's like the lead sword of Bravos or some line like that?
First sword of Bravos.
Would he be first sword in the Golden Company? Is the Golden Company Bravos' army?
I think the Golden Company is just mercenaries.
Okay. Just like the Iron Banks.
Yeah, like they
Army
just
in a
hire
way.
them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the papal army if the Pope still had an army and it was money instead of religion.
I mean, I guess a bank would need an army because otherwise you just borrow money, especially if you're all the way across, another continent. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they didn't pay you back, like, what are you going to do? Send them a bill? Like, Yeah, you're going to need an army like, hey, give me money, give me my money, I break your legs.
That's right.
Yeah, or chop them off.
Or, you can feed them to dogs.
Or cut your
right
dick off, like everybody else in the show. Feed you to dogs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Barrett gets killed.
Okay.
In the rescue of Arya from. Well, I guess they were really rescuing Arya.
What was that death number? 9? 7? Like, how many times did Barrack die?
Oh, this was his 7th time.
7th time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last.
Yep.
Because his duty is fulfilled.
You said duty.
Duty.
Yep. And
do you think he made a duty when he died?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Don't people make
everybody
duty
does.
when they die?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the South Park
That was
rules.
the 7th time he shit his pants just from dying.
Arya should have lifted his eye patch up, been like, "Is there an eye under there?" And there's an eye under there the whole time. He just wanted to look cool.
That's green. You got me killed too. You're my Samwell Tarly. So
Was that before the library scene? Right.
That was after the library scene.
That was after. That library scene was fucking annoying. So all these whites are crazy, really fast people, and then all of a sudden in the library they turn into the Walking Dead fucking boring zombies. I get the purpose of that scene itself because I think it was probably because for audience exhaustion of the episode and slow it down, and then you do that. But those could have something else. The zombies just once they get in a library are
They couldn't figure out what book they wanted to read.
Right?
do you have the Winds of Winter?
It's no, nobody does.
Shh. It's a library. Be a quiet zombie.
Lodos.
Lodos, he found it.
I had thought of that a little bit too, but it almost seems like they've established that maybe they're out of Bluetooth range for the Night King.
I guess.
I feel like there's he sends basic instructions, and then once that's through, it's I'm still a dead guy. I don't know what to do after this, so fuck, I'll mill around, I guess.
Dude, one of the funniest basic instructions was when the dead he forced them to put their bodies on the fire, and they're just walking up and flopping over.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
I'll go lay on fire. Plop. I lay on fire. It seemed like everybody could have just ran through and quickly, but
it did seem that way.
I
but still,
enjoyed it this way much more.
That was still really fucking cool.
I think that was actually real people getting lit on fire as well. I don't think that was CG people. I'm pretty sure that was
They
actually
had fire suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not people died for this episode.
Jesus, people really like Game of Thrones. I feel like they should have had way more budget for Ghost if they're just going to kill their extras.
No, they used all their budget on fire suits.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of that stupid trench, no oil in that damn trench? They're just going to rely on dragons? Psh, come on.
What else?
Yeah, backup plan, putting some oil in there so anybody can light it at any point from anywhere.
But they were...
the dragons are going to probably... you got to have backup plan.
What are you talking about? They were trying to shoot flaming arrows into the trench to light it.
And they did. And multiple people tried to light it. It was because they were waiting for the dragon to light it on fire.
He's saying there should have been oil to light it faster, so it would have lit by an arrow instead of just dragon or the red god or whatever.
Because they didn't use any oil they didn't need to if a dragon could just go around and light it on fire. That was their plan.
Right.
Which, all right, yeah, kind of makes sense, but have a backup plan.
I assumed you still needed... I assumed they had still oiled it just so the flames would stay.
I don't know. Apparently not.
Because you had to be burning something.
Well, there's a bunch of wood in there and stuff, so...
Oh, so it's just a campfire?
Yeah, just a campfire, pretty much. Yep.
Okay, well, doesn't matter because Dany fucked off and screwed up the plan, so...
I don't know. I don't hate her for it, but I still hate her.
I actually love that their fucking dragons run into each other.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Yep. And it seemed... That actually seems like one of the more realistic things that happened in this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they did that whole cloud thing. Mm-hmm. So, talked about that last episode. I didn't think they would, just because you wouldn't be able to see anything. You know, like, because they did it at Hard Home. Mm-hmm. But, no, they did it, but it worked. Mm-hmm. It was a good strategy.
So, going back to character deaths, do you think the lack of any, like, what you would consider major deaths took away from this episode?
Yeah, only because certain people were in situations, like, to where they should have died, like Sam, multiple times. Mm-hmm. There's one point where Jon was walking past him, and Sam's, like, crying, laying down, basically, like...
Just stabbing the guys next to him. Yeah, no big deal.
I don't know. Just seemed like, like the plot armor thing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, that seems kind of cheap. Like, don't put him in the situation. Mm-hmm. Or fucking kill him. Like, you know?
Yeah, I was pretty sure Sam had plot armor for, like, the entire show. Mm-hmm. And then Jon and Daenerys I knew had plot armor for this episode.
Right.
Because... Like there was people like, Jon or Dany should have died. Jon should have fought the Night King. Dany definitely should have gotten killed when she was on the ground with Jorah and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that is not their story arc. Like, if they die, the whole drama between them and Jon being a Targaryen means fucking nothing.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's never going to work.
Mm-hmm. It would have been nice to see maybe... I don't know. I was trying to think about what... maybe would have been more satisfying, but I'm not a writer. I can't really come up with a lot of... I don't know.
Yeah, that's...
The only thing I can think of is, like, I wish there was, like, maybe, like, all right, the first 2 episodes we showed all these people coming together. Mm-hmm. Maybe eventually they found all their way together and started fighting all the fucking White Walkers who did 0 this episode, were completely pointless. And they were all fighting those together, and then fighting to get the Night King. Some people die from the White Walkers, and... working as a team. Then Arya could jump out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been more satisfying. Maybe it would have been more cliche and stupid. I don't know.
I kind of feel like
seemed
that
like would have been...
I don't think it's... that. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Those fucking White Walkers did nothing.
It is kind of weird that Grey Worm didn't die, though, especially with this, since him being, like, basically on the front lines, too, you know?
Yeah, especially when most of the other Unsullied died.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, most of it, he had that helmet on, so you wouldn't be able to see him anyway. So, because it makes more sense for him to be wearing that mask, or the helmet in battle, than it would be to have his helmet off so you can recognize him when he dies.
Right, yeah.
And I recognized that at the beginning of the episode, too. Because everybody else... I think we've noticed it before in other battles and stuff. Because otherwise you wouldn't even know it's him, you know, if he didn't have his helmet on. Mm-hmm. You can't really do that much with that on screen. Like, he kind of has to have it off.
Okay, so, for the listener, there's a rainstorm and we just lost power, so... all the recording abruptly stopped. Right as Mike was talking about how it seemed like Grey Worm would have had to have left his helmet on.
No, like, oh no, you have to leave it off. Leave
it off.
So, you know, when you establish the shot of him, you know it's him.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Not much you can do there.
The one thing that I've always found weird, not always, but especially in this episode, is the lack of shields that are being used by... like, everybody's using a two-handed sword. There's, like, literally next to no protection except for their armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, the reason I noticed even... Grey Worm, or even thought about it without a helmet, because nobody else has helmets on. I'm like, well, other people could wear helmets or, you know, something to protect their head. And I'm like, oh yeah, you kind of can't for the TV show, so
right,
you wouldn't be able to see who's who, or it wouldn't look as good, I don't think.
No, it wouldn't. And the Unsullied they're kind of known for their helmets, right? Like their fashion sense. So yeah.
Yep. They're good. They're good. I liked when they were retreating, and they're like, protect the retreat.
Yeah.
I was like, that was cool. And then how they kept moving in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome. It was set up really well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff about this episode. I just think there's a lot of small nitpicks that take away.
Yeah, definitely don't think like I didn't like anything about this. There were a lot of good things about this. So I know I'm just kind of bitching about it. I'm only bringing up the negative parts. I don't know.
The lack of character, like I said earlier, I don't watch this show to watch my favorite characters die. I'm invested in the story, and because if I want to, like, my characters can die horribly at any moment, I'll watch The Walking Dead again. Because you want to talk about things where people are in danger and then they'll cut away, or you'll end up seeing it horribly as they get their throats ripped out. Although I think they stopped doing that as much in the later seasons.
The Walking Dead seemed like almost nobody could die ever. That's why I stopped watching it. Among multiple other reasons.
That nobody could die ever?
People die all the time.
People
they got
died.
in real stupid situations a lot of times.
They did, but also, like, they'd have main characters die randomly, like, every season.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about the White Walking Dead.
We are.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lack of quote-unquote major character deaths didn't really take away from me, except for the fact that I did think Sam should die, and I wanted Sam to die.
See, it's not even, for me, it's not really like, oh, you have to kill off major characters or something like that. But if they're being put in a situation that is completely not survivable, what the fuck? Like, I don't like it.
Make it
It's kinda
realistic,
cheap,
yeah.
You know? They don't have to be put in these situations.
Well, yeah.
You
right.
could, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. But at the same time, it needed to seem hopeless.
Maybe they all survived because of the Lord of Light. Yeah.
Maybe.
When you don't understand something, always say it's God.
Well, that's basically what the Arya thing is, right? Because, like, this whole, like, conversation that they had at the beginning of season 3 is, and Bran giving her the dagger when he did, and blah blah blah, is like all this. And because they said they'd known they're going to do this for 3 years. So, well, let's get to that. What do you think of Arya killing the Night King?
Wait, hold on. Let's back up just a second. What about Theon?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about Theon.
Yeah, no one cares about the end.
He's a good man.
He's a good man. And he
with a tear in his eye, he charges forth like an idiot.
Yes!
yeah, he definitely should have stand your ground. Dude.
Yeah.
Let him come to you.
Yeah, that was really dumb. That was really, really dumb.
But I feel like
and you could, I don't know, try to throw the spear or trick him and stop and then throw it real fast.
Well, listen, we know what happens. We know who the master spear chucker is in
the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and it's the Night King.
The Night King. He is the master.
No, I don't know. He's not
like
the master.
He's like the Olympian style spear thrower.
He's only hit once out of all his throws.
That's true.
You know,
but
not every shot you take you're going to make. You know.
Yeah, out of 2, he's hit 1.
Yeah.
So that's 50%.
50% reliability. I mean, that's better than Michael Jordan.
No,
with all of his basketball.
3.
Oh yeah, he threw one trying to get away, and they were able to bank. But
all right,
still,
1 out of 3. 1 out of 3.
But
Still
listen,
pretty
you
good.
miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
But moving back to Theon, I think the thing about that's it. Well, number one, I didn't think Theon should die. I still go on record as that. But the other thing is, I think
Thank you.
was basically Bran telling him to go charge at the Night King.
Yeah.
Which is fucking lame. Fuck you, Bran.
Yeah.
He's like, you killed a couple of kids. You're a good man. Go kill yourself.
I'm going to go now. Well, go where? You know your legs don't work, right?
It's wasted on
I'm
the
not
cripple.
pushing you somewhere. Like,
we could lose power again at any time. But yeah, that's the thing that pissed me off. Like I said at the right before in the cold open, where one of the guys is saying it's not like the show is about characters redeeming themselves and that's it for them. They have two characters where that's their arc, and that's what happened. And it happened within 5 minutes. Both of them died.
Yeah.
That is my biggest nitpick with this episode.
I think also they said, and the writers said something about how, they knew Arya was going to kill the Night King and stab him in the exact same spot that he was created with the dragon glass.
Yep.
It wasn't the exact same spot, dude.
Did he hit?
Yeah, because it was a chest,
Yeah, it was
right?
right center chest, and she stabbed him like, in the stomach almost.
Yeah.
Looked like.
I didn't remember them
Which
saying...
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't remember them saying in the exact same
They
place.
did. I remember them
Yeah.
saying
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right, well, I don't...
Yeah, and I don't... He could have misspoke, too, or,
Yeah.
not meant...
Yeah.
that, so.
But just like general torso area,
Right.
the exact same
know.
spot.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, if he would've got
Fuck, man, I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt. Like,
No, because I think that's probably exactly what he meant was the torso, because if he got stabbed in the arm, he would have exploded too.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you would even say anything about a spot period if you didn't mean...
Look,
Exactly.
she was.
He doesn't even watch this fucking show.
She was playing it like a game of operation. She was just like, all right, I'm going for the heart, but really, I'm going to get the wishbone.
But
that's fine.
that's everybody's major complaint about this episode is that Arya killed the Night King instead of Jon. So I want to hear Mike's thoughts.
I don't care who kills him. Like, it didn't bother me that Arya was the one to kill him. I think it would have maybe been more satisfying to, like, I don't know, see Jon and the Night King fight or something, but I don't think anybody single-handedly could take on the Night King in a sword fight.
I think...
Although, we have no fucking clue. He never pulled out his sword.
He
Didn't fight
have a
anybody.
sword.
He has a nice sword.
Yes, he does.
He was
has a
about to use
sword
it on Bran.
on his back.
Was that a sword? I thought that was
Yes.
like just a knife.
No, it's a sword.
No, that's a
Yeah.
sword.
It
and
seemed awfully short.
It's long. It
Okay.
goes down like his whole back and like
Yeah.
sticks out the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a whole back sword
You can
situation.
see it pretty good when he's walking away from Jon, and Jon's chasing after him right before he
Oh,
raises the dead.
that's
You can kind of see it
right.
pretty clearly there.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
But we-
I was
yeah,
gonna
we've
say
never
you can
s-
see it when he's falling, but that was the spear when he fell off the dragon and had like no expression. He's just like falling. It looks so
Yeah,
weird.
for some reason, I
Just
always
like,
thought that thing sticking out of his back was a
"Whee!"
spear.
No, because he had a spear and he had that. Yeah, because he threw the spear.
Yep.
I thought he
After-
just made spears.
After he got Dracarys, and the ice spear didn't melt. This magic spear doesn't melt from dragon.
yeah.
Weird. It's weird.
But yeah, at any rate, back to
And his clothes are still on. Like his clothes didn't get singed.
that's how we know he's not a Targaryen, because his clothes didn't burn away.
That would have been awesome if he was naked.
I know.
And he had big blue boobs.
Ah, yeah, yes.
Big blue nips.
Swirly nipples.
Ugh.
And then Daenerys is like, how do you like it? I've had to do it 3 times.
Giant ice dong.
He looks like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know who that is.
the Watchmen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like
yes.
naked all the time.
Everybody was wanting this like big Luke versus Darth Vader sword fight between Jon and the Night King, but we've never established that the Night King really fights with a sword.
Right.
He always seems like D&D rules. He's the caster. He's in the back of the party. He's animating the thing. He's like the support guy. Mm-hmm. So a one-on-one fight probably wouldn't have been any more satisfying, except for the fact that he has superpowers and Jon doesn't.
Right.
And number 2, as I mentioned in a discussion with Chris that I had, Jon's not a good fighter. Like, everybody says, like, Jon's an accomplished swordsman. No, Jon's just better than the other people at Castle Black who had no sword training. Every sword fighter in that show, like, everybody that they prop up to be a fighter in that show, could beat Jon.
Probably.
With the exception of one-handed Jaime, but two-handed Jaime had kicked Jon's ass.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Because we've never seen Jon sword fight for an extended period of time. We've seen him cut up a bunch of zombies.
Yeah.
But he's always having to get his ass saved because he gets smacked around.
Yeah, he narrowly escaped one of the White Walkers in Hardhome.
So, yeah, the only reason he beat that guy is because he was surprised that the sword didn't break. It was basically that scene from Return of the King where Aragorn's trying to get the army of dead to fight for him, and like he attacks and blocks with the swords. Like, that line was broken. It has been remade. Blah. It's basically the same scene. He got the element of surprise and killed him that way, but he would have got his ass kicked otherwise.
Yeah. Well, see, like what I was saying, like I wasn't expecting like just a one-on-one fight with the Night King. I mean, the Night King's fucking supernatural. Like no human on their own could be able to take him out. You know, you're gonna have to use everything. I don't know. Together. I don't know. I thought it would have been at least cool to see him fight a little bit. The Night King. Would have been at least a little bit cool to see some of those White Walker generals to fight a little bit.
I would have liked seeing the White Walker generals fight in the battle, but I think the assassination of the Night King, I think that was perfect. I loved everything about that.
Yeah, I did too.
But yeah, the fact that they didn't do anything, and I guess that's just because the Night King was cocky and he didn't order them to do anything or what have you. But the fact that she gets the jump on him, that doesn't bother me. Like, how does she get past all the other walkers and things like that, and like they don't do anything? It's like, no, they've established they spent like this season for sure and a decent amount of last season talking about how quick and silent she is.
Well, also like, how'd you sneak up on me? Hey, where'd you come from? Like, I know it happened to John. I thought it also happened to Sansa too one time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, she just appears because she's awesome. She's trained to be a killer.
Right.
So like, she's like literally, even in a one-on-one fight, she's probably the one most likely to kill the Night King anyway. But everybody's like, well, the Night King was Jon's story. It's like, no, the Night King came to Winterfell. It's everybody's story at that point.
Right.
It's like, he needs to die.
It's the whole Realms War, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. And she got the jump on him, but he was able... Yeah, he still saw her and grabbed her. You know? He just didn't see that she was going to do her little drop the knife and stab you with the other hand. I almost kind of, at that moment, I was like, oh, fuck, Arya's gonna die. Yeah, kill that bitch.
What?
Crush her goddamn fucking neck.
No, why would you do that?
Why not?
Isn't she on your survivor list?
Yes.
Oh my god.
But I'd be okay with it. Yeah.
Just to see one Stark die this
Why not,
episode.
man? The Night King has a hold of her neck. Like, just... You dead.
Well, why didn't he throw a spear at Bran from a distance?
Yeah. No. There's so many things
He
that
could have just threw his sword right at him. Well, apparently the Night King is cocky.
He could have dragged...
I don't know. That makes no fucking sense either. Like, his emotional state or who he is, we don't know anything about that.
It's because they
never talked. We saw him smirk, saw him raise his hands. Fuck the... I'm glad it's over.
He's just a guy He's just a guy they made up to command the dead.
Yeah.
He probably isn't even going to exist in the books. It's probably just going to be zombies.
The most boring character in any television show ever. Thanks for building that up for 10 fucking seasons.
Well, no, they didn't build that up for 10 seasons. They built it up for 3.
No. Dude, well, the White Walkers were at the opening scene.
Yes, but the Night King
in the
wasn't.
pilot. Okay. The White Walker, like the undead, it's been building for 10 seasons.
And you got a movie-length battle
seasons,
with
10
them.
years about.
You got a movie-length battle with them. What the fuck else do you want?
But if it's just a battle with, I don't know, just a motionless guy that it's not very satisfying.
Are you I mean, they're zombies.
The zombies are
zombie type.
zombies, but like the guy that creates them isn't a zombie. I want to know more about this dude. I want to know.
Did you want
what his motivation more? Like,
did you want like a voiceover from the zombies' perspective, talking about how he became zombie king? And,
and this is how I lost it all.
This is our leader, Mr. Iceman. Oh, I thought he's the Night King. No, we call him Ice Balls.
Aren't you all ice balls? Shut up.
He is supreme leader.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's an icy dead guy that got killed. I mean,
he's dead now.
Yeah,
he's super dead.
Yeah.
Double,
I don't know.
Double dead.
That's fine. A little unsatisfying. It wasn't when he died. I was just kind of like, okay, like, cool.
Yeah, that's not what we did.
No,
When he died, we were like,
yes! It was like gold in our house,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
But also, I was like I said before, when we first started talking, with that slow-mo and the fucking piano music, like, I was fucking pissed by the time they got
That's
to it.
true.
I'm like,
I felt that way
fucking
too.
get on with it. This is bullshit.
Yeah, because the flipping back between him walking slowly and the stuff with Jon, like being pinned down by the dragon.
Yeah.
And it's like, I actually like the fact that Jon couldn't get to him because that's more realistic. Like, sometimes
Right.
the hero doesn't fucking get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took him 5 minutes to do that.
God, it was forever. I'm like,
I do like they just stands up and yells at the dragon, and then from his perspective, the dragon just dies.
It's like, oh, I had no idea I had that power.
yeah.
The other meme that I saw that I really enjoy is Dany showing up and saying, "What happened to the Night King?" and Arya going, "I killed him. Bran saw it." Oh, Bran saw it. Isn't it convenient that your brothers?
Yeah.
That's great.
So funny.
So there's.
Did we talk about Jorah?
We talked about Jorah dying
Okay.
briefly.
All right.
And then how he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
This is another nitpick that the internet had that I absolutely had no problem with was Dany fighting. Mm-hmm. Because everybody was like, Dany should have been killed. She doesn't know how to fight. Yada, yada, yada. It's like, did you watch it? She's not fighting.
No.
She's
Yeah.
just stabbing whenever there's an opening, and
Right.
she's not doing it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that she doesn't really know how to hold a sword, and like she looks awkward, and like
They actually did. I think they actually did really well with the Jorah and Dany thing. At the end.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And
Except that Jorah fucking came out of nowhere. I thought that was bullshit.
So did Arya.
Exactly. That's the shit I'm talking about.
So
Every single person
Melisandre.
has this little fucking. Oh, I'm about to die. No, I'm not. I'm about to die. I'm here to save you from nowhere. Like Jorah was just out there the whole time. Everybody retreated, and like he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was fine. Maybe he was.
that shit just doesn't bother me.
Maybe he was.
It's like, I don't care how they get there because it's going to be boring. We're just going to see Jorah like cutting people up. We're going to see everybody. You're seeing slow mo Jon and the dragon. Do you really need to see slow mo Arya running through the woods to get there? It's like, no, that part's not important.
I don't know.
Although I guess if they did all three of those things in the same 5-minute slow motion shot instead of just switching between like the two perspectives, then maybe. But like the fact that she snuck out of the castle and got to the Godswood, that doesn't bother me at all.
No. And I think it was that much more impactful that we didn't know what the hell she was doing. Like she just ran out of the building and we didn't know where the hell she was going. She's like, I'm not going to die today, whatever. And then what happened to Arya? Well, nobody knows until she's like,
RKO out of nowhere.
yeah.
I thought she was just going to kill, some more whites.
Yeah.
So they got blue eyes too.
Well, she probably did. She probably killed a lot of them. What was I going to say? So this is the only question that I have left over from this whole Red God and Army of the Dead thing is pretty much everybody comes back for a reason. Like Barrick's duty's fulfilled, Melisandre's duty's fulfilled. She does that whole thing in
Just walks away.
Chronicles of Riddick's into the
Takes off her necklace and just like falls to the ground.
which is literally exactly the same. Have you seen Chronicles of Riddick?
It's been a long time.
It's the second one where he finds out one of the undead guys is actually from Furia as well, and he like gives him like some information on the Lord Commander, and like at the end he like walks out into the blistering radiation and heat, and he's taking off his jewelry and shit like that, and does that and just gets disintegrated. It's almost the exact same scene. And I just thought of that, and it was hilarious.
I thought it was kind of strange. I don't know. It was just kind of silly. Like, oh, we won the war. Better go kill myself.
No, I think she
But
was
she's old,
She was very old, and she was racked with guilt about Shireen.
And probably a lot of other things over her like 1,000-year life.
Yeah, I mean, like she's just done. Like this is it.
I love how Davos was still coming out to kill her.
And yeah, he saw her die. He also saw her take that necklace off.
Mm-hmm.
Next episode, we're going to see Davos putting it on.
Young Davos.
It's like, what's up, ladies?
I've got all my fingers back.
Oh, jeez.
Who wants to get finger blasted?
So gross.
Don't call me the finger knight. Bang, bang.
Come here, Sansa.
Oh.
Come here, Arya.
Nope.
Nope.
What'd be wrong with that?
Big
if he's
nope.
like a young buck again.
Don't
like
want
a hot young
no.
buck.
No,
No?
don't think so.
But, oh, yeah. I got sidetracked. So, Beric, Melisandre, we know what their purpose was, essentially, at this point, at the end of this episode. Why does the Red Cotton bring Jon back? Like, is Jon's duty fulfilled now, in terms of the
She
Red
thought
God?
he was the prince that was promised.
Yeah, she thought that, but probably
That-
the Red God's like, yeah, I'll let you think that.
Or-
he has a different
or-
purpose besides what you're thinking.
Or maybe, like,
Or maybe his purpose is he's the one that can bring everybody together to do this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense, too. But not necessarily that he's got to be the one that kills the Night King.
right.
He's the princess that's promised. Have you seen my hair? Look at my beautiful eyes. I'm a pretty little princess.
Okay, so we didn't talk about the crypts at all, but we did. They did do the corpses breaking out of the crypts,
Yeah.
Sure did.
which was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen,
If
but
they had ghosts down there, it would have been a lot cooler.
yeah,
Ghost would have died for sure.
No way.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not against those old dusty bones. Those are
don't
weak
know.
ones. Those are weak ones.
You think so? Do you think
Yeah.
it matters if they have any muscle left on them? Like, I think it doesn't matter because they could just be skeletons and like be animated.
Yeah, I don't know how.
It doesn't
that
matter.
works.
I don't know. Maybe they got osteoporosis.
You'd also think that their teeth should have probably fallen out or whatever, because I
Yeah.
don't think teeth stay in your mouth
They
after
don't.
you.
They just like fall to the back of your throat. Just you're dead, and then they just all fall out.
don't
Hair
think
grows
that's
out.
true.
It's not. I have no idea what happens. No, I don't think I.
No, I don't
they
think
do
that's
stay
true.
in. They
Yeah,
do
it's
stay
not
in.
true. It's not
They
true.
stay in. I'm just kidding. You're like, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right.
As I was saying, it's like, wait a minute. No, I've seen skulls.
Have you ever seen a kid's skull?
Yes, it's
Oh,
gross.
It's so weird. Have you seen it, Mike? Oh,
With
Yeah,
all
they
the
had double the teeth.
They got all their teeth up.
Like
they got
just
teeth
all,
under their eyes
like
and
just
shit.
all over their cheeks and
Oh,
stuff.
it's so gross.
You know, that would be that would be a creepy thing to see, like in the Army of the Dead, just a bunch of
Yeah.
kids like with just teeth
With
faces.
their teeth just falling out of their skulls because nothing holds it in anymore.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're welcome.
thank you. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Everybody's like talking about, so I like how every episode, like if Sansa looks at somebody, she's automatically in love with them now, according to the internet.
What?
Yeah, like, Sansa and Theon are going to hook up. Oh,
What?
now
How?
Sansa and Tyrion are going to hook up because they looked at each other.
Oh my god,
In that scene, like,
why do they have to?
I think there was supposed to be a fighting scene where they actually went out and were killing some of the whites in the crypts, but they cut it out.
Oh,
Would have
well,
been cool to see.
yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't. It
Maybe
is
that's
Sansa and Tyrion.
Maybe that's why they cut it out.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrion's a slightly better fighter than Dany.
Yeah.
Because we have seen him fight before. Sansa doesn't know how to do anything.
No. She didn't even,
She didn't take any training in that whatsoever.
but she knows how to stick him with the pointy end now.
That's all you really need to know.
That's
That is
right.
it. Yeah.
That's all you need to know in life.
Stick
All
with-
aspects.
Yeah. Okay.
Giggity.
You want me to show you my penis?
Jeez.
Is it pointy?
My penis is perfect.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Okay.
great. Good to know.
Dragons are going to have plenty to eat now. You know? They
Yeah.
can eat all those dead bodies up.
I'm sure those don't taste good.
Well, some of
If
them
they don't
might.
care.
Some of them are fresh.
Oh, yeah. It's just going to be a bunch of Dothraki to eat for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, they've got fucking no army to fight Cersei with now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really shitty.
Pete Holmes is going to kick their ass.
Yeah. Sexy Pete Holmes.
Sexy Pete Holmes.
Yeah. I don't know if I have much else for this. We talked about a lot of stuff, actually.
I just think that's really stupid that they want to sexualize Sansa so much. Like, just because she's a pretty girl and she looks at somebody, like, with any kind of, like, admiration or, you know, it's just like all of a sudden, yeah, I want to fuck you.
Oh, yeah, well,
you know?
After episode 2, everybody, is Arya going to have Gendry's baby?
Oh, my God.
You always got to have the hookups in shows. Like,
yeah.
it's like, no, people don't always have to get together in relationships.
They don't.
So,
they could just, like, have mutual respect and understanding, and that's enough.
Which it seemed unbelievably obvious that's what
So
the Sansa
satisfying.
and Tyrion... It seemed unbelievably obvious to me that's all the Tyrion and Sansa one was.
Yeah.
oh, the way they talk, though, Sansa, like, kind of gave him a little look like, I would be okay with it, but, you know, the queen thing would be a little hard to deal with.
Well, yeah.
Miss Sunday's like, excuse me, what do you say about my fucking queen? You stupid bitch. It's my queen. She's out there fighting for you.
Do you still like her?
I love her still.
That's not how I would expect.
I don't
like
curse, it
somebody
talks like
that
this.
you, yeah. Wow. Okay, I do. I think I'm getting that thing that you have, the
Misophonia.
about that voice. That's wild.
Yeah.
Tim does it a lot too. Well, not a lot, but enough.
I really only do it on this show. Just because it's addictive when Mike does it.
It's fun to join in. Try it, Sarah.
I already talk like that.
No, you don't at all. Like, no, definitely don't. Because there's some other podcasts I listen to.
No.
And, oh my God, there's so much vocal fry.
It's so terrible. Like, guys, I don't even know how you can listen to this podcast.
Listen, Mike, if you want a vocal fry...
Dracarys.
There's a dad joke.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
I love having this
talking about
soundboard.
episode. And I was so like...
Oh,
There's some people that talk...
God.
Like, stop it. Use your voice. Like, push
No.
air out of your body.
No, I can't.
Okay, before this segment goes on any too long, do we have
Yeah,
anything
sorry.
else to talk about with this episode?
Let me think. I don't think so.
Okay. Mike, anything left in your notes?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, with that, unless Mike interrupts me, which he, okay, doesn't look like he's going to.
Well, go ahead.
We can get to the results of our Survivor bracket, round 2.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are we guessing again?
We will be
Okay.
eventually, but this is just the results of round 2.
Excellent.
So round 2, our first matchup was Jon Snow versus Brienne of Tarth. The votes came in from Facebook, on our Watchers on the Couch page, Instagram at Watchers on the Couch, and Twitter as well at WOTC Pod. And that's where voting will go up on again, except it's going to go up on Saturday because I think releasing it on Wednesday like I did last week actually reduced the amount of votes we had because it just got lost in the shuffle that is social media. Anyway, Jon Snow versus Brienne of Tarth. What are you guys' predictions?
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow did win with 80% of the votes to Brienne's 20. Round 2, Davos Seaworth versus Beric Dondarrion.
Davos.
Davos with 80% to Beric Dondarrion's 20%, which you guys were right. He's dead now, so we don't have to run into the awkward situation of what happens if somebody dies when they move on to the next bracket, which I already know what I'm going to do. We'll move somebody that previously lost that isn't dead back in. Arya Stark versus Grey Worm.
Arya.
Arya with 93.8% of the vote to Grey Worm's 6.2%. Bronn versus Qyburn.
Bronn.
Qyburn.
Bronn with 100% of the vote.
Ooh, ha
Wow.
Qyburn's definitely surviving then.
Oh,
Maybe.
no.
Let's see. We have... Tormund versus Podrick.
Podrick.
Podrick, I guess, yeah.
Podrick with 66.7% of the votes to Tormund's 33.3.
Oh, poor Tormund. I love Tormund.
Well, he's not dead yet.
I
It's
want to
just-
see him live, though.
You
But I
might.
want.
There's
I
gonna
want
be.
to. I want
That's
to
a tough
see
one.
Podrick and Tormund live, though.
They might.
Yeah, I think
There's-
they
it's
might.
not just because we're having this bracket doesn't mean only one person is actually going to survive to the end of the show. It's just
No, that's exactly
who's
what
the
it
most
means.
likely
exactly
to
what it
survive.
means.
Only if they do listen to the show and they've plotted out. They're doing,
Rewriting and
and reshooting at the
everything. Yeah. Okay.
moment. Round 2: Samwell Tarly versus Jaime Lannister.
Samuel.
Oh, Samwell.
Yeah, unfortunately. Samwell Tarly was 60% of the vote to Jaime Lannister's 40%. After this episode, that should definitely switch. The Night King versus Rhaegal.
Rhaegal.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, the community agreed before the episode aired. Rhaegal was 70.6% of the vote to the Night King's 29.4%. There's one more. Where is it? There it is. Sansa Stark versus Gendry.
Sansa. Yeah.
Sansa with 53.9% of the vote to
Oh.
Gendry's 46.1%.
Pretty tight.
Pretty tight. Pretty high and tight. So, yeah, leading into round 3, we'll have Jon Snow versus Davos Seaworth. Who do you guys think? Or who's your guys' picks?
To the end?
Yeah.
Jon Snow versus Davos?
Yeah.
John.
Davos.
John.
No, man. My jokey prediction's coming true, I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. So the very end, you're talking about
My 3
the
people
end.
are surviving.
So we're playing this to the very end of the last episode, right?
Right.
When this series is done, this person will still be alive.
Davos. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Arya Stark versus Bronn.
Arya.
Arya.
Okay. Samwell Tarly versus Podrick Payne.
Sam.
even you're not happy about that one.
I want Podrick to win.
I do too. And then this is just an LOL because it's so dumb that the dragon's gotten this far. But Sansa Stark versus Rhaegal.
Sansa.
Sansa.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think any of the dragons are going to survive.
I don't either. I don't think they should either. So yeah, those are the matchups for round 3. I'll be teasing these through the week, but the actual voting will happen on Saturday before episode 4.
Okay.
Let's see, what else do we have? Sarah and I saw Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm. No spoilers.
No spoilers for that. But it was a start. Yeah, we saw Avengers Endgame, then we watched the season finale of Orville, and then Game of Thrones, all in the same day.
You should have watched Cobra Kai as well.
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
Yeah. See, in my house, the Karate Kid was like very, very important.
Really?
It was a big hit in my house with
That's cool.
me and my 3 older brothers.
Yeah.
But, by the way, they haven't announced whether or not Orville's going to be picked up for season 3, but if you have any interest in sci-fi and you are not watching the Orville, you are missing out, because it is a great show.
Try it out, man.
Yeah, it's Seth MacFarlane it's got humor in it, but it's not like Family Guy sci-fi. It's there's some very real stuff in it, and it's very, very poignant and
Like
also
social
funny.
commentary.
It's basically
cool.
What would Star Trek be like if it was actually like you and the fuck ups you work with?
Yeah.
What network is it on? Because I haven't
It's on
watched
Fox.
it.
It's Fox.
Fox.
But it's
okay.
on. You can watch Hulu, like episodes on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
I don't know I don't know if it has all of them, but
How many seasons are there now?
this
2.
is they just wrapped up
They
the
just
second season.
okay.
The first season's only 10 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
And then this one was only 13. So
Yeah, they're not long.
pretty easy to get caught up. Anyway, that's not what I was talking about. I mean, it was what I was talking about. That's not why I was meaning to get off on a tangent about Avengers Endgame. I've seen it. We're going to be doing the Watchers at the Movies on it for May. I'm still working out who's going to be on it and when we can get around to recording it. I'm hoping it'll be out within the next 2 weeks. So there's that. Then next week's episode 4. So
Yeah.
we'll be that'll come out on time. The following one, episode 5, I'll be out of town for work, so that episode's actually going to come out late. That'll probably be a Thursday release for that. So that'll be like May 16th for the episode 5 of Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
If we can all
A Thursday
that
full
long.
release.
But that's it. Anybody have anything else? Anything to plug? Anything like that?
Nope.
No.
All right. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you are a new listener, thank you so much. And you can email the show with your thoughts, your predictions, what have you, about Game of Thrones. You can email us at watchersonthecouch@gmail.com. You can also visit watchersonthecouch and .com and leave us a voicemail over VoIP. Nobody's done that yet, and I think it's because nobody wants to be the first one. But
It'd be a lot of fun.
it would be a lot of fun.
If you do that, I might call you back with vocal fry.
That's what our first call is going to be. It's going to be somebody with vocal fry.
But yeah, we'd love to have some voicemails to play on the air. So for next week's episode, for episode 4, if you want to, like, after you watch it, lend your thoughts and things like that we can play on the show and discuss. We would absolutely love that, but also the mailbag as well, watchersonthecouch@gmail.com. And then also, while you're on watchersonthecouch.com, there's the links to all of our social media and all that happy horse shit. So, without further ado, let's wrap it up. I'm Tim Pickerel.
I'm Sarah Pickerel.
I'm Mike Daffron.
And now our watch has ended. Until next week.
Don't get your dick bit off.